The season's rains have come and gone, and what little remain in the Western Cape's dams is only enough to last until mid-May next year. So the situation remains dire, but it's not all bad news, because the city has been freed up of budgetary red tape by the Treasury and can now spend faster to secure more water resources. The private sector has been monitoring the situation and have the financial means to secure the long-term water plans for the city and the country.
There's nothing like a good crisis to precipitate political figures from coming to the fore to solve the problem. But I will say again that, you know, we have to look at it over the long term that these assets need to be brought in. You're talking about billions and billions of rands that are actually required to invest in the water infrastructure to keep the city truly sustainable over the next generation.
The city has already committed to tapping into aquifers and building desalination units, but residents are using over 580 million litres of water per day, and long-term infrastructure plans are needed, albeit at some risk.
The two fears that we have is the term over which the infrastructure should be funded or procured. And the second is, how do you prevent a situation where you are buying very expensive water in a time of emergency and drought, and then it starts raining again, and now suddenly you sit with that tariff overhang of expensive water, and that you've now locked yourself into that over a longer term.
Wastewater recycling is a solution that the city is also mulling, but to make an impact requires scale. Some scientists, though, believe investing in water security is far from a bad decision.
We're planning for the long term, so you know what we're doing right now in an emergency is unfortunate. It would have been better if we'd had a better lag time to be able to put these in place. But this is really the kickstart of a longer term, resilient approach to dealing with drought.
So far, the drought has already taken a casualty, leaving one town in the region completely dry, after prayers for rain went unanswered. And many here believe the city may need to invest more money to prevent a similar set of circumstances unfolding. The alternative water sources should relieve some pressure on the city's dams once they come online. But day zero is an issue never far from anyone's minds, even if there's some respite for now. Travers, CGTN, Cape Town.